Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to take you through the Angulum Cluster Triangle. So this has been in the game for a little while, but it's not particularly straightforward and there's always a lot of questions and stuff about it, and even I knew literally nothing about this until a few days ago. But since then I've tried to learn pretty much everything that I can about it in-game through my own experience, so I may have missed stuff, and if that's the case feel free to let me know. But I'm going to go through how you get there, the gameplay, what you actually need to do, what it's like, all that kind of stuff, what kind of rewards you'll get at the end, and then ultimately, you know, is it worth the pretty high price to actually get in there. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to actually get into the cluster triangle, you need to go down to the bottom of your screen, the bottom right, to the little galaxy symbol where you can buy your development rewards, and you get the Angulum Cluster Pass. So you can get the individual pass, which will just pay for yourself, which costs 400 Proxima or 160 Dawn points. Or you can get a team pass, which will pay for everyone, which will cost you 2000 Proxima or 800 Dawn points. So you can get in there by paying your Proxima or by paying Dawn points, which you get from rating criteria and stuff during your other servers. And yeah, then you can buy that. Once you get that, you go up into the top or wherever however you use to get into your Lagrange network, or at least this is how I did it. Go down a few things to the little triangle, Angulum Cluster, and then it'll come up with register just like a normal server. Once you go into there, you'll get this little symbol, this triangle symbol in the top right-ish, just below your, and you can go in there and you'll have you and then 5 empty slots. You use those 5 empty slots, sadly I can't demonstrate here, but you invite people and you have 2 hours to invite and for them to join. They have to have their own pass unless you get the team pass, in which case you've paid for everyone's entry. If you don't get a full team within 2 hours, then it expires and you have to wait 8 hours before you can do it again, and that goes for anyone who joined during that thing. So if you got 4 out of 5 and the 5th person doesn't join in time, then all 4 of you have to wait 8 hours before you can try and sign up again. So when I was doing this, it took a few attempts because not everyone was on at the same time, and yeah, but that's how that works. A lot of people just try and find people in local and stuff, but if you have friends or even alts, people in your clan or org, whatever, invite them, and once you get a full team, you'll launch. So after you launch, you can use that little triangle, which is where it was before, to enter whenever you want, and then there's a galaxy symbol which you can just press and it will take you out back into whatever server you're in. Currently I'm in Pioneer system, but you can use it in any other system as well and just go out. Then you will be in this little base here where you have all 5 people's ports and your camp center. You can go in there and you can configure blueprints. Up to 10 can be in most of these. I think all of them except for the aircraft and super caps. You can have 8 super caps or 12 aircraft. This doesn't include variants, so if you have 3 variants, you just upload one type of blueprint and all 3 become available. Doesn't take up 3 spots. But yeah, so that's how that works. Once you do that, you can't use them in the, like, whatever other system you're in. I will demonstrate here. It will come up with a little, here, this grey, the name will be grayed out and it'll have the little red triangle symbol. And then at the top it says being used in Angulum Cluster, so you can't use it in your normal server once you do that, but it does get XP and everything. And so we'll go back in. Okay, so you're in, you have your thing, you can choose which blueprints you want to assign. I'd recommend using ones that are best at siege, but ultimately you do need a little bit of everything. because you do need some anti-ship for dealing with asteroids, which we'll get into in a second. Probably some speed so that you can collect the higher level salvages, which we'll also get into in a second, and then siege and healing and stuff for relics, which we'll also get into. Everyone uses the same build things, and it all gets added to a queue, and you can help each other speed up. You have 300 speed ups that you have. Everyone has 300, and you get more by collecting salvage. They don't regenerate. Resources, you start off with resources, and you get more resources by collecting salvage. Then you go to internal affairs down on your bottom right, or refining, and you drag in your crate. They all take 10 minutes to open, as far as I'm aware. Maybe some of the ones that you get from relics will actually, I haven't got any from my relic, so no. They take 10 minutes, and the better the crate, the more resources you get. And then you can view all your teammates' ports and stuff to see what they've got. And yeah, you can use, everyone shares all the blueprints, so you know, there's like different people using different things. Then you have your warehouse, which I've never seen anything in it, so I don't actually know a whole lot about that. And then there's the Noma store, so here you can spend your blue coins, which are separate to any other server that you're in. You get them from salvaging as well. You can buy speed ups, resources. You can spend proximal on resources, but I don't suggest that. And you can buy another auxiliary ship if you want, and I've never used it because good mate Miller has a good auxiliary ship, which I've been using. You could only send out one fleet at a time, but yeah, we've got this lovely one here. And to do that, you have to go into your base and press go on expedition, and then it will come up with a screen that has a few of these green things that you can warp to. Forget what they're called off the top of my head, but they're pretty much areas where you can warp to and loot, because the rest of the map is unstable warping zone. So yes, that's lovely. And then there's all of these green pins here. These are pretty much areas that you can go to, and you can use the return to camp command, which costs 20 AP. You have 400, you regenerate 25 per minute. And yeah, once you warp out, you can cruise wherever you want, but you can't warp to different things with a fleet that's already deployed. You have to go back to base and then warp to a new thing. And collecting salvage. Salvage is found just randomly. It's these little triangle things, and they've got different levels. Of course, the higher the level, the better the loot, but they also move faster. So you can see this level 9 one is moving at a nice quick speed. They're kind of hard to catch, so you need to be in the right place at the right time to get them. Low level ones move a lot slower, but yeah. And then there's also these celestial bodies. There's various different types of them. Some of them are more dangerous than others. But yeah, so you have this sparse asteroid belt, which is a lot easier to deal with. And then like these other ones, high speed celestial bodies can be a bit more of a pain. You have like 30 seconds to kill them all before they crash into you. After it makes contact, that is. You can't help people out. There's no like attack or anything against these asteroids, and you can't send reinforcements or anything like that. You've only got emergency retreat and view. If you press emergency retreat, you drop all your cargo, but you get to warp back to base. You also have to be careful of radiation, because this can cause damage to you. If you zoom out all the way or you press on the pin, you can check the forecast to see when radiation's going to come out. There's a few different stars, 3 of them. It's the triangle, and it's kind of dangerous. Don't get caught in the radiation zone, so do check them out. But you can warp over them just fine. Just cruising through them or being AFK and sitting in them is not ideal. So as for collecting loot, you pretty much want to do that as much as you can for the first like few days probably. to get your resources up, and you can find blueprints and stuff. I'll show you some of the blueprints that I found. There's a few unique ones. The Org ship is unique. I haven't actually salvaged that. I got that from the Noma store and found out it was kind of useless. You can get ion sweepers. You can get Noma UAV frigates. It's pretty much an anti-ship UAV, and it's actually not terribly inefficient. They have a few tech points on them as well, which is kind of nice, but not a whole lot. You can get light cones and all that kind of stuff. You can even find solar whales in level 10 ones. So yeah, I know people who have salvaged level 10s, but when you salvage a ship, you have to come home and repair it as if it's been destroyed. So it's pretty much a destroyed ship. It gets added to your cargo and you come home and repair it once it's in your port. So it has like that period of time where you can't use it at all, and then it has a certain number of hit points left, and it regenerates over time. You can't upgrade your port at all. You have 700 and only 700, which seems like plenty, but you'll probably learn that in some situations it might not be, depending on your playstyle and how you kick off. Ships that you should bring, as I said, a mixture of siege, anti-ship and healing. Depends on what you actually want to achieve. So if you're out looting, I'd probably just bring anti-ship and a whole bunch of cargo. So we can see here I've got like a whole bunch of AC-721, and sometimes I'll take out my ion cannons and stuff like that. Or sometimes I'll just spam frigates for the flagship skill on the auxiliary ship, so I'm fast and can catch the level 10s nice and easily. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Now we're going to go into relics, because that's ultimately what you come here to do. You come here to find relics, or perhaps level up your ships, but ultimately relics are a little bit, well, they're difficult to find if you don't know how to find them. I'm going to duck out super quick and increase my graphics to make things easier for you all. So here we are with much better graphics. My game might lag a little bit, but hopefully it doesn't too much. But I needed to show you these yellow path things here. These are how you find relics, and relics is how you get good loot. If you see one of these on your map, like zoom out, you might have to do some finding. My iPad tends to lag a little bit in terms of finding things, so half the time ships and stuff don't show up unless I'm concentrating on it for an absurd amount of time or whatever. But that's just me being unfortunate. You find these and you follow them, and pretty much X marks the spot. That's where you find relics. And then once you find a relic, I suggest you mark it so you don't lose it or something. Same with these hidden warp points and stuff like that. You discover them and they can save you a bunch of time, rather than having to cruise with my SD59s all the way over to here. I only have to go to there. But yeah, that's how you find relics. Now, relics can be a bit of a pain to destroy. Level 5 ones, you are going to want to max out siege and healing with some tankiness, pretty much as if you were going to siege a defenseless city all on your own. Its cannons are kind of irritatingly efficient, especially against small arms. That's not that. But yeah, so the first time I tried to fight this base, I got my butt whooped. It did take a little bit of fleet composition and stuff to get the right balance, and then using my mate's golden IOs, because yeah, frigates do get munched on, but healing helps a lot. So do destroyers and stuff. But as we can see, the healing from the Noma, or not the Noma, the Cirrus, did do quite a lot. Your battles can last for quite a while, 15-16 minutes, because you're doing 2.2 million siege to these level 5s. So yeah, over time the damage of the defense tower does stack up quite a bit. There are people who use like super good gold fleets and stuff, you know, all the super strong people but you don't have to worry about those fleets turning on you because PvP is nearly non-existent. That's something I probably should have mentioned earlier. You can't attack other people's bases and loot them. Literally the only things that you can attack is other people's fleets while they're deployed, but I don't suggest it because your stuff is better off collecting stuff. That's how you get your Proxima work, or your value back rather, if you're using Proxima or Dawn points, or the Relics. You can double team the Relics, which I suggest because then you might be able to deal with them without as many losses. But yes, the Relic, what you're here to get, you destroy the tower, you can loot it, you can have multiple people looting at the same time, as I will show you right now. But yes, do bring a lot of healers and siege damage. That it doesn't seem to target aircraft, the defense tower, so aircraft could be viable, but do try to use ones that do siege damage. That's pretty much how you get relics. When you get relics, you get a report that might look something like this, hopefully more if it's not broken up by asteroids crashing into you every 10 seconds. But yeah, and then these you bring home and it converts into these points up here, which you use in the Noma store. This server does only last a few days, about a week-ish, and then it gives you a 24-hour countdown before all of your loot gets evaluated, and then you get rewarded with points. These points are used in the Noma store. So if you go to your development rating rewards where you buy the pass, go to Noma store, and this is what you can spend it on. Yeah, not a whole lot. You can get some cool icons and stuff to look cool in chat and whatnot, or a cool looking battle cruiser, but that's literally it. You can't get blueprint boxes or anything like that. So yeah, you do get XP for fighting relics too, by the way. So if you have your ships in there and then it expires, or you want to pull them out to use in combat, you do get a decent amount of XP from blowing up relics and looting them. And you can loot the same one over and over again. So this one here, my mate DDZ and I, we've looted and taken out the defense towers of this level 5 a few times. Level 2s are of course a fair bit easier, but if you can take out a level 5 and get a decent amount of loot from it, just farm the level 5 instead of the level 2, I suppose. But yeah, that's pretty much all of it. That's all to the cluster really. Just warp out, get some loot, and then take that back to base, build up your fleets. I'm pretty sure I mentioned, but everyone can help speed up each other's ships as well, so that's good. And then go out and hunt relics and get as many of those relic point things as you can, so that you can get the rating rewards at the end and buy yourself a new thing for your avatar. But yeah, ultimately, unless you're trying to bling out your fleet and look like a complete sweat, there isn't a whole lot of point to come to the Angulum Cluster Triangle. I personally like it as a way to burn some time if you have to wait in the Pioneer system for ages, like I kind of am right now. Then that's probably the best way to use it, or maybe just another place to escape from a really terrible server, like if it's full of a Mega Alliance or whales and stuff and they're just making life hell. Just escape, take your good ships away into the Angulum cluster with some mates and just hang out there. And yeah, it's pretty much just a mini game to get out of boring situations, in my opinion. It's not really you're not getting any value, you're not spending 400 Proxima to get blueprints or anything like that. Just some XP and some fun if you find this interesting, or more fun than sitting in the Pioneer system or being zeroed every day. But yeah, that's pretty much the Cluster Triangle. If I've missed anything, please let me know. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful. Please like, comment and subscribe if you want to, and I shall see you guys next time. See ya!